Hey, what's up everyone? This is your man E, the R&B Hip-Hop Rockstar, aka DJ E Boogie, and welcome to the Cartel Media channel. This is going to be my review of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 4. That's right, 4 episodes in, 2 more to go, and wow, there's a lot that went on this time around. But you know, I like to drop these every Monday, giving everyone a chance to check out the episode over the weekend, alright? So if you haven't seen the episode at all and you clicked on this, I'm here to warn you. That's right, lots of spoilers. I'm going to be spoiling everything throughout this review. So if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to need you to click out of here, go check out the episode, alright? And then come right back and get my comments with any of your theories and your thoughts of the new episode. Alright, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Well, as you know from the last episode, Bucky runs into Io from the Dora Milaje. She came to Latvia to collect Baron Zemo, and she's a bit upset with Bucky because he freed Baron Zemo from his prison, and she just didn't understand why he would do something like that, especially since Zemo had him under mind control, turning him into the Winter Soldier, and of course he was responsible for killing their king. So Io didn't quite understand the logic or the reasoning behind breaking him out of prison. But Bucky goes on to tell her that, hey, he's a means to an end. We need him to find out how this super soldier serum got back into production, who's making it, and you know, he had all the answers, so he was the only one that we could turn to help us out in this situation. But let's backtrack a little bit of a backstory on Bucky and Io in the Dora Milaje. About 6 years ago, as you know, after the Civil War saga, Bucky was sent to Wakanda to pretty much be rehabilitated, and they deprogrammed him of the call words or the key words that they used to turn him into the Winter Soldier. So Io was the one who was in charge of handling all of that. So at the beginning of the episode, that's what the scene that you see right at the very beginning, just giving a little bit of history on how he was able to be deprogrammed from being mind controlled and everything, and he didn't think it was going to work. And when it did, you know, he was just very, very, like, I would say more than grateful that those words didn't trigger him to turn into the Winter Soldier. Okay, so that's pretty much a little bit of the history that he has with Wakanda, and as the time he spent there, they've given him a bit of a name, like his own name. He's known as the Winter Soldier as well, but they gave him another name and called him the White Wolf. Interesting, right? So when he runs into Io in Latvia, Io pretty much gives him an option. Well, she pretty much just tells him, look, you got 8 hours to finish up your affairs with Baron Zemo, because we're here in Latvia right now and we're coming to collect. So you got 8 hours to get it done, or that's it. We're just gotta handle this thing on our own, because we want to bring him back to Wakanda so he could stand trial and be judged on the fact that he killed our king. Alright, so that's pretty much how that went down. It was that walk away for me once Io warns Bucky that she's coming to get Zemo after 8 hours. Wow, mean boy, mean. Anyway, the thing I like about this series is the way that they tie everything in from the movies. Now, I've seen the Avenger movies and all the Marvel movies a bunch of times, but it's so cool how they reference things in the series that happen in the movies. Sort of like the reason why this is happening is because that happened back then, like a chain reaction sort of thing. So I think that's really cool, which keeps me tuned in each and every week, first with WandaVision, now with Falcon and Winter Soldier. So Bucky gets back to Sam and Zemo, and he warns Zemo that the Dora Milaje is here, and they don't have a whole lot of time. They got to get to Carly right away to retrieve the super soldier serum so she won't be able to distribute it to anyone else, right? So they find out that Carly has bombed a GRC depot, and she killed several people. And at that point, Zemo is trying to explain to them pretty much his position on why he is as far as the super soldier serum goes, that anyone who has access to that is, he went on to call Carly a supremacist. And Sam was like, well, she's just a kid. He said, well, hey, anyone who has access to that type of power, they may not start out that way, that may not be their intention to be that way, but anyone who has access to that kind of power can potentially go down that road, right? Which makes perfect sense, I think. But then Bucky comes back and he says, well, what about Steve Rogers? And then Zemo kind of fires back like, well, that's a good point. But then again, there's really never been anyone else like Steve Rogers, right? So they had to find out where Carly is and get this super soldier serum from her so she won't be able to distribute to anyone else. And they find out that there's someone that's close to her passed away, a woman by the name of Danya. So they have to visit the community where Danya passed away to get some information on when and where her memorial service is going to be so that they could intercept Carly and get the serum back. Well, the guys get there and they're striking out left and right. Sam and Bucky are having no luck whatsoever. And looking at the scene, it gives more insight as to why the Flag Smashers are doing the things that they're doing. Sam comes across one gentleman and he asks him about Danya, and the guy is telling Sam that, hey, I can't trust you. The GRC said that they were supposed to be sending some teachers and supplies. That was like 6 months ago. We haven't had any help since. And just by him saying that right there just lets you know that, okay, you kind of get the reason why Carly and everyone is doing what they're doing, stealing vaccines and things of that nature to help out the people in the community. All right, so you sort of sympathize with them and really pretty much understand why it is that they do what they do. Well, like I said, Sam and Bucky are not getting any information at all, but Zemo, as cunning as he is, gets the information that they're going there to get by bribing some kids with some candy, right? So a little young lady lets Zemo know exactly when and where the memorial service is going to be. Zemo tells the guys back at his house that the memorial service is actually going to be taking place later on that day. They go back out to get to the service, and who is out there waiting for them? You guessed it, none other than our favorite superhero, John Walker, aka the new Captain America. And he's not happy at all. He's pretty much pissed. This guy's been staying 2 steps ahead of him the entire time, and he just couldn't catch a break at all. So pissed at Bucky and Sam for breaking Zemo out of prison, the whole nine. Like, he's just very frustrated, and he wants to tag along with them to go to this memorial service because he wants to go in guns a-blazing, like just no plan whatsoever, just kick in the door and just do what you got to do, right? But Sam's like, no, we can't do that. Let me talk to her first. I've dealt with people like this before. I can talk her down. So they get there, and John Walker tells Sam, you got 10 minutes. 10 minutes, nothing happens. I'm coming in. We're going to do this my way. So Sam goes in, attends the service. Carly sees him looking above in one of the in the balcony and everything, and Sam sees her. And at the end of the service, they get together and they finally have a talk. While Sam is talking to her, he was really actually getting to her. He was really actually talking her down, getting her to understand that the error of her ways, the way she's going about doing this, is the wrong way. And Sam made sure that he understood where she was coming from, that he agreed with what she was doing, but just not how she was going about doing it. It's like, fight for a cause. If you're going to fight for a cause, I'm all for that, but you don't have to take lives doing it. So while he's talking to her and seemingly getting her to understand that, in comes John, of course, impatient, didn't give Sam the proper 10 minutes that he said that he would, spooking Carly, and she runs off. Big mess, of course, because the guy just can't seem to get it together. Like I said, he's really frustrated at this point. He just wants this to be over and done with. So as Carly runs off, Zemo catches up with her. He shoots her, wounds her a bit, causing her to knock over the serum. I guess that was attached to her person. It fell off, and Zemo sees it, and he begins to just stomp out this serum because he doesn't want anyone to have it, his position in that whole thing. So while he's doing that, a shield comes out of nowhere and knocks Zemo in the head, knocks him out. John is there, and just as I suspected while watching this scene, I said, I bet you he forgot one, and lo and behold, he did forget one. There was an extra vial of serum sitting in the corner, and of course John picks it up, and looking at that scene, you already know where this is going to go. It's like, yeah, just like I suspected or predicted from the very first episode of the season, that he was going to take a turn for the worse. So that's exactly what he did. He took the serum, put it in his pocket, hiding it from everyone. Sam and Bucky get there late, of course. See Zemo sprawled out on the floor, and that was that. There was some pretty interesting conversations that went on within this episode. One of them being between Sam and one of the refugees at the camp when he was looking for information on Danya's memorial service, and another one between Sam and Zemo back at Zemo's place after the fight. Zemo asked Sam that if given the opportunity, would he have taken the serum, and Sam immediately says no. So Zemo thought that was pretty impressive that Sam would answer without hesitation like that. Then Bucky comes in and he's complaining about that John is a little off, and Sam's kind of looking at Bucky like, man, what was your first clue? I've known that the moment I laid eyes on him. John kicks in the door and orders Bucky and Sam to turn over Zemo right away because he's just about had it. He's just done with it. He's just fed up. He's just ready to end this thing right now. Sam gets up and tells John, dude, you need to slow down. You're not running anything up in here other than your mouth. John, again, he's had it. He's like, look, how far do you want this conversation to go? Challenging Sam, if you will. I'll take the shield off. We can go at it right now. And just as John is about to make a move on Sam, out of nowhere comes a spear. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Dora Milaje has entered the building. They're here to collect Zemo as well. Zemo is a pretty popular person, right? So John is trying to appeal to their senses by introducing himself as Captain America. They don't care about who he is. They're not here for you. They're here for Zemo, right? So John is trying to de-escalate the situation and all. And Sam is trying to warn John, hey, look, you might want to take on Bucky before you even think about taking on these women here. They are not to be messed with. So John commits the ultimate sin and puts his hands on Ayo's shoulder. Oof. Wrong move, buddy. And of course the fight ensues. And let me tell you, these two got their asses handed to them. Lamar and John didn't stand a chance against Ayo in the Dora Milaje at all. At all. It was so funny. John and Lamar was having such a hard time. Bucky and Sam are kind of sitting back on arms crossed, looking like, should we jump in? I don't know. Should we? I don't know. So Bucky, takes a jab at John. Hey, looking good, John. Keep up the good work, buddy. Not even close. I mean, it was really bad until finally Bucky decides he's got to jump in because Ayo is about to make John a human shish kebab. So he stops her and they get into it, and of course Sam jumps in it because Lamar's about to meet his end, so he gets into it. And then throughout all this confusion and everything, this is where Zemo makes his great escape. He disappears in the bathroom underneath the bathtub like El Chapo, if you will, right? So the fight is going on, and Ayo pulls this move on Bucky. It was like the 5-point palm technique out of Kill Bill or something, and she removes his arm. The craziest thing, it just left Bucky sitting there like, what in the, right? I just thought the most badass thing I've ever seen. That was just tight. And then, John, he stuck to the table with his shield and everything because one of the members of the Dora Milaje threw a spear at the table, and pin him to the table and everything, and it was just a big mess. So he finally releases himself. The shield falls on the floor, and one of the members of the Dora Milaje, does that thing that Captain America that's like steps on the shield and lands on his arm. Yeah, she pulled that move, and John is just looking at her like, what is going on? I don't even understand. So once the Dora Milaje discovered that Zemo was gone, she tells her, drop the shield. We don't need it. But what we came here for has escaped. So let's go. So drops the shield, and just leaving John in such, he was like, his spirit was broken. Like completely broken. And he's just kind of sitting there like, well, they're not even super soldiers. Beautiful line. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. So that whole situation just really left John seriously contemplating partaking in the serum, because we're talking about a guy here who's a decorated war hero, if you will, stellar career in the military, and to be taken out like that by 3 women, it was something, like I said, it just really broke his spirit. So he's seriously contemplating and considering taking the serum. Of course, no one knows that he has the serum yet, so him and Lamar are having a conversation, and he asked Lamar, he's like, hey man, if you were given the opportunity to take this serum, would you take it? And without hesitation, Lamar was like, yes, I would take it, no questions asked. And John then asked Lamar, like, you're not worried about how the serum may change you? Like that's not a concern of yours at all? Lamar, again, without hesitation, said, well, the power would just make you more of yourself, right? So we know where he stands on the serum. Like, if he had the opportunity, he'd definitely take it. And by him saying that to John, just fueled the decision for him to go ahead and partake in the serum, because he already had it in his possession. Why not take it, right? Well, that whole scene plays out, and then, Carly decides she wants to call Sam's sister, and she pretty much threatens her. She wants to have another meeting with Sam, but she's trying to figure out whether or not, what side of the fence is Sam on. Is he working with Captain America, or is he not? Because like I said, their conversation, it got to her. It made her think a little bit before John walked in and overstepped his boundaries and ruined the whole thing. So Carly and Sam have their second meeting and everything, and Sam is expressing how upset he is with Carly for calling his sister like that and threatening her. But Carly was like, I didn't know any other way to get you back here. I needed to know exactly where you stand. Like, are you working with Captain America, or are you not? You should come and join us, and we could, do some good together. But Sam isn't going for any of that. So while they're having their meeting, Sharon calls Sam to let him know, to warn him that John and Lamar are in the building. Carly hears that. Her and her crew, they go into battle mode at that point, and a fight ensues once again, right? So Lamar winds up getting caught throughout all of this, and Sam witnesses John fighting one of the Flag Smashers, and he notices a bit of a difference in John this time around versus the last time. He witnesses him bending a metal pipe around one of the Flag Smashers' arm. He wasn't able to do that before, so you know exactly what that means, right? So Sam witnesses that, and he says, hey man, what did you do? He's like, hey man, look, they got Lamar, we need to find him. So they wind up in this room together and everything. Flag Smashers jump out of nowhere. They're going at it and everything. And Carly, she gets the drop on John, but just as she was about to strike, Lamar comes out of nowhere and intercepts her. So Carly gets up, she kicks Lamar into a column, ultimately killing him. John sees that. He goes over to see if Lamar's alright, discovers that he's dead, and that just turned a bad situation to worse. Everyone scatters and all that, and John finally catches one of the Flag Smashers out on the street, and in front of everyone, he begins to literally murder him right there in front of everyone. Everyone has their camera phones out. filming this whole thing. Thus brings me to the title of this episode, The Whole World is Watching. And man, when I tell you that last scene, or that last shot I should say, of John holding that shield with the blood on that shield, that was a real pivotal moment in the entire episode. So that right there, that ended the episode. Episode 4 was absolutely amazing, just like all the other as well. So again, y'all know what to do. Get in my comments. Let me know what you thought about the new episode. Let me know your thoughts, your theories, how you think the rest of the season is going to play out. You know, just let me know, all right? Right in my comment box. And while you're here, be sure to check out all of my other content here on the Cartel Media channel, my live DJ feeds, my music videos, all of that good stuff. Got lots of content here for you guys to enjoy. And while you're here, before you go, please make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification to be notified of anytime I go live or I post up some brand new content. Once again, y'all, my name is E, the R&B Hip-Hop Rockstar, aka DJ E Boogie. This is the Cartel Media channel, and I'll see you guys again for the review of episode 5 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. All right, peace.